Hey everybody, this is VariedGeek with 59 Animanga, and today we're going to be covering the insane chapter of One Piece, chapter 1044. Now, I know we haven't really covered One Piece in the past, except like, the film Red stuff in a short, but that's just really like a news piece, but we never really talked about One Piece in depth or haven't any reviews on it, so I want to change that, so I'm going to be trying covering maybe every Sunday the chapter release, so we'll see how this goes, but if you guys like this or even want to see more of it every Sunday, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, why not, start with a banger chapter with chapter 1044. Now, of course, this is going to be full spoilers because this is a manga chapter review. So, obviously, I'm going to be going and detailing everything that happened in the chapter and obviously giving my opinion on things and stuff. So, yeah, now that you've been warned, if you haven't read the chapter, I really highly suggest you do so. Let's get into it. Okay, so this chapter is basically fire. Nothing else to say, like, off the bat. Just my initial impression of the chapter. It's insanely hype, really cool, and it starts immediately after the last week's chapter, which was Luffy got knocked out. Him and Kaido seemingly were about to finish each other off, like, final blow. Again, we don't know if it was gonna be like a final blow, like type thing where they KO each other, but it was kind of setting up to be that way. And honestly, it was really cool because my opinion on the Kaido versus Luffy fight is I love it. I think Luffy, I mean, the Luffy's power crept like I would say like 95% of the entire One Piece universe in this one fight than he was beforehand, because even when he learned like Ryuo, it was like okay, it made him stronger, but it wasn't the thing that it allowed him to do some damage to Kaido, but it was never like enough to significantly injure him. So when he started learning how to infuse his attacks with Conqueror's Haki, and that's when the real fight began between Luffy and Kaido, like a 1v1. So Luffy was already fighting the strongest person that's allegedly on the planet. So this fight has just been like skyrocketing Luffy to like the stratosphere. But obviously he got interrupted by CP0. Kaido dusted that fool for interrupting. I love that panel because it was just like, you know what's gonna happen now, right? And the guy just doesn't even say nothing. He's just like, yeah, I'm ready. Just just do it. So Luffy gets knocked out in that chapter, and then at the end though, he smiles, and then there's like this like kind of gooey kind of thing happening on his face, and then it chapter ends. So this chapter starts with basically Luffy waking up, and I love this. I cannot wait for this to be animated. Everyone is just reacting to Luffy. Everyone's just like Sanji was passed out after his fight, and he woke up like sweating, like what, Luffy, what, like even Kid is looking at it. Like you got Hyogoro looking at it. Marco notices. Everyone, bro. It is it's such a cool moment how like I feel like in the anime this is gonna be a moment where like everything is silent and then everyone's just like you just hear like the sound effect. Which, by the way, every time they show Luffy like in this form, there's always a sound effect or like this like effect called Doom Dada. So it's like I don't know if that's like his heartbeat or something, but that's gonna be probably a cool sound effect that they're gonna be using. So that's kind of interesting to at least point out. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the one part that I feel like most of us not don't care about because a lot of us hate Orochi, but it's like the concerning this chapter. Let's be real, it's one part like we could do without because everyone is talking about everything else. I do like Hiyori though, but basically there's one part of the chapter where Hiyori is talking to Orochi, has him pinned down with the I believe the sea prism nails, I believe, and she's just telling him about the story about how he's a snake, how he betrayed her father, how no one likes him, how basically just trash talking him, and then she takes off the mask and she's crying. She's like, "I'm Kozuki Hiyori," and Orochi's like stunned still, but he's stuck. Then you got the little flame ink that Kanjuro like basically had to go blow up the entire island, but it reaches Orochi and then it just lights him aflame and he's on fire. So I don't know if we're done with Orochi. Maybe finally, hopefully, because he's died multiple times, or so the fruit allowed him to live a little bit longer, his devil fruit, but I'm kind of tired of him, so I hope we're kind of wrapping that part up. But Yeah, in a way, that's like the one part of the chapter that's not really a negative, but just like compared to everything else, it's like the glaring part that no one not cares about, but it's like the one part that kind of is odd in this entire thing concerning Luffy and his devil fruit, right? So, so I'm gonna jump back to the earlier part of the Gorosei basically talking up in Marijoa. So this is huge right here. They're basically talking about the devil fruit that Luffy has, the Gum Gum fruit, quote unquote. As we've known it for over 2 decades, we've known it as the Gum Gum fruit. So apparently, according to them, they've been trying to capture the Gum Gum fruit or get it for 800 years, and it has never been in their possession or been able to catch it. So, according to them, and according to Oda, the Gum Gum fruit is not a Paramecia type. Instead, it is a mythical Zoan type. Explosion. Now that, dude, that to me is insanity. But at the same time, it's the mythical Zoan type, human fruit, mythical type model. Okay. Look, look at me. I'm gonna pronounce it maybe weirdly, but look at me right here. This is me. I'm gonna be. Rather be safe than sorry. I'm just gonna pronounce it Naika. Uh, so the sun god is the model that Luffy has. That is the fruit that Luffy truly has, and basically this fruit allows him to possess properties of rubber and fighting in whatever way he faces. Is quoting the manga, bringing smiles to the face of the people, the warrior of liberation. So awakening his rubbery body or brings his rubbery body greater physical strength and freedom. And in all the world, there is no power more ridiculous. That is the quote from the manga. So that is wild that Oda switched. Again, and it was referenced in Skypiea. There are some Skypiea ties to this in terms of like imagery and the way Luffy looks in the silhouette form and the stuff that they talked about with Joyboy there. So Sky again, I love Oda's foreshadowing. This is something that was teased for a long time. And honestly, in a weird way, it makes sense. It doesn't feel like a I don't know, because like one thing that like I think it doesn't feel like an ass pull is what I'm trying to say. And one thing Rayleigh always mentioned when he was teaching Luffy is that sure he was talking about hockey, how hockey blooms during like battle, but I feel like that's kind of been the running motif with One Piece post time skip is like, or at least with difficult enemies that Luffy fights, is that he gets stronger as he fights and as he progresses. So his skill and experience, like and like overall like stamina, I feel like it all makes sense that he would get to this point where he basically caused an awakening. So now his devil fruit is finally awakened, and this is Gear 5. The only question that I have with this part is just that why didn't the Gorosei like immediately go after Luffy like the moment they found out or they knew that he had the Gum Gum fruit? Or obviously I guess they didn't know, or maybe they thought it was a different type of like rubber fruit, which could exist because I believe another like tied to like older One Piece stuff. There is in I think Baroque works. There were two members that could like shift their weight and stuff, like the Kilo fruit and I think the Ton fruit. So there are times where multiple devil fruits can maybe exist that have similar properties but also are very different, right? So maybe they just thought he had a normal rubber fruit, I guess. But this to me, look, man, I like Shanks a lot, but I feel like Shanks low-key just snitched on Luffy, well, not just, but a long time ago, because if y'all remember, like Shanks went to the Gorosei a long time ago to talk with them, I guess, to speak with them, and their actions in sending CP0, to me at least, seems like either they were waiting for this opportunity, which I don't know why, if Luffy's gonna be even stronger, why wait for now? Or they just found out Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit, and or the sun god fruit. So it's like did Shanks low-key just snitch on Luffy, and then now they sent CP0 after him? So gonna wrap up the chapter review here, and just gonna talk about the final section, which was basically the fight, quote unquote, with Luffy being in Gear 5. So I really love this part because like Luffy is just like throughout the chapter, he's just kind of narrating his own like thing. He's like, wow, I feel different. I feel like I can do anything I want. I can like, you know, like I'm strong, like I'm smiling. I can't stop laughing. And he's like, this is the pinnacle of what I can do. This is Gear 5. That's what he straight up says. And this reminds me a lot of the moment in JJK, I think in the flashback with Gojo, where he's like fighting, I think, Toji. And he's just like, you know, like hands spread, and he's like, looks kind of insane. He's like, you know, this is like, I alone am above all, or whatever he said, like paraphrasing it. So I thought that was kind of, it reminds me a little bit of that. But I love the fact that like, even Kaido, even Kaido was like what is up there? What is going on the roof? And he's sweating and his eyes are like kind of bulging because the sky is essentially crackling Conqueror's hockey. Like, it is out of control, essentially. So, it is leaking from the rooftop down below to where Kaido's at inside Onigashima. And is knocking out, like a bunch of people. And then Luffy's, like, cartoonish-ass hand grabs Kaido. and just yoinks him. And this turns into, like, a full-on Looney Tunes, like fight. Because Luffy drags Kaido, and then in the panel, Kaido's like eyes like pop out like 3 times. It's kind of funny looking. So then he gets dragged to the top. Luffy's like, again, this is like I think what he was talking about, and what the Gorosei was talking about, is that now he has full freedom of his body. Now, if you notice, you have like Gear 2, that's very much, I think, you know, he quote unquote said that he was basically pumping his blood, and he can only do it because like his organs are made of rubber as well. So he's pumping his blood, and like he can stretch and be really fast, right? Gear 3, he inflated his bones, but it was only really to one part of his body. He couldn't really have it like on his entire body. And then Gear 4, you know, with Snake Man and stuff, it was more so like a hockey infused, like, you know, like I think everyone always says like it's like him putting his hockey on full blast, combining with his rubber, and like you know, inflating his muscles. But this is like Luffy, like straight up inflating his arms to like Gear 3 level at will. He's like flexing, like pinching Kaido's like body. He's spinning Kaido around. He's smiling. He's slapping. Like this turned into he turned into like Jerry or like Tom, like bro, he is full on like Cartoon Network Looney Tune like form, and honestly, it looks really cool. And he's just laughing, and then he basically gets shot a blast breath at him, but then he grabs the floor, which his reaction, again, even more Looney Tune-y, is his eyeballs also pop out, and then he grabs the floor, and then he also bounces the blast back towards Kaido with a rubber, like that he converted the floor into rubber. So I think that, and then it basically ends with Luffy going, like, laughing, and Kaido's like, I'm glad that you're not, you know, knocked out. I don't want to win. And then Luffy's just like, don't sweat it. Let's finish this up, right? So this is Gear 5. It seems like he has kind of a Super Saiyan thing going on with the, like, kind of Gear 4 smoke going off, like, the, like, making, like, that robe kind of thing. So, honestly, I love this form so far from what I've seen. Luffy's crazy funny. He has, like, it's very in the style of One Piece, where it's, like, really goofy, Looney Tune-y, but it kind of makes sense for Luffy's type character. And honestly, knowing that it is a mythical Zoan fruit of the sun god, it kind of it kind of reinforces that the fact that I've always questioned why Luffy can do fire moves, like, straight up. Red Hawk, Red Rock, like, why could Luffy do, like, fire? And I know people were saying, oh, it's like the heat of Gear 2 combining with, like, the friction of, like, the armament hockey or whatever. And I feel like they never really, I might be misremembering, but correct me in the comments if you will. I don't remember actually Oda ever stating that in the manga, like that was the exact case. But I'm not entirely sure. But if that's the case, sure. But I feel like knowing that this is his devil fruit now, it reinforces the fact that like he can just do fire moves at will with like his head aflame, and it's just honestly I am really hyped. I cannot wait to see what's next. And like I was saying, he basically has free control of his body because his form, aside from his hair and like the robe, like the smoke, he's literally like in base form. Like, and his eyes are different, but it's just he has full control of his body now, and I think that's a really interesting way to do a power up that doesn't feel like an ass pull, but feels like it had enough build up to be really really cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I think this fire was chapter. Wait, what? Let me know down below in the comment section. I thought this chapter was fire. Probably like a 9.5 out of 10 if I were to give it a rating, because that one part of Hiyori, while again important for the story for her arc, I was just like, let's be real. After what we're getting at the beginning and what we got at the end, it was really just sandwiched in between, you know, these two things of like the exposition of his mythical fruit and like him just showing off the new powers. So if you enjoyed this review and if you enjoy One Piece in general, make sure you drop a like and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you want to see more One Piece content coverage, like the movie, the Netflix series, manga, anime, news pieces, like whatever, if you want to see more of that stuff, comment down below, show some support, and just, you know, let us know that you want to see it, right? So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.